It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by
PSE Archery, Yamaha Outboards, Better the Hunt, Easy Cut, Packer Max, Deer Camp Coffee, Buck Baits, JPO Game Calls, Limwalker Game Calls, Wild Seasoning, Total Peep, Sunrise Archery, Scent Lock, and Scent Blocker.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Another week of Up North Journal. Hear a little echo in here. Do you hear that just a little bit?
Man, it's getting kind of thin in here.
The cabin is getting cleaned out. Yes.
And it's the end of March.
It is the end of March. And, you want to go ahead and make that announcement now about the coming couple weeks?
Well, you're the man, the myth, the legend. You make the announcement.
Well, as we alluded to, a week or two ago, that the cabin is actually going to be moving. That time is very near, so this is going to be the last show for probably a couple weeks. We will do live drops and keep you posted, but as soon as the new cabin is up and ready to rock and roll, we will be back again with a fresh, new Up North Journal episode. So you have to stay tuned. That just gives you more time to get out and shoot your bows, right?
That's right.
So
how about we get over and
take care of some business?
Shooting. How about we shoot our supporters some support?
There you go. I like it.
Right? There's nothing better than starting off with Buck Baits. Absolutely. Get down to the brick and mortar store at Deer Camp or check them out online at Buck Baits. And if you do, use our promo code UNJ20 and you'll get 20% off your order at buckbaits.com. And Lincoln Roan over at Packer Max. It's that time of year. Think spring. It's getting close. He is busier than all get up. I talked to him this week. Matter of fact, if you use the promo code UNJ25, you'll get $25 off your order. So go over there on the website or give him a shout. Along with that, turkey calls, jpogamecalls.com. Turkey's season is less than a month away.
Right.
The 15th, right?
I think so.
Here in Michigan. And if you need a game call, get over there and use our promo code UNJ10 and you'll get 10% off your order there. And after you get your turkey, why not use some wild seasoning? And if you use the promo code UNJ2021, you'll get 10% off your order at wildseasonings.com. And just so you know, April 1st, which is next Thursday, we're going to make an announcement of a new partnership, but we'll leave that till... And it won't be an April Fool's joke, okay, folks?
And it won't be on the podcast.
Nope. It'll be... We'll figure something out to do, but we'll announce it.
Yeah, right on.
So that'll be next week, but... No,
I don't know. Where are you going with this?
Can you switch to my screen?
Oh, you want to go to the Great White up north, don't you?
I want to go up and check out what's happening in Newberry, because a big shout out to M123 FM, who's carrying our show up there on the Eastern UP radio station. And there you go, folks. There is downtown Newberry.
There's no snow.
There's nothing going on there. I've seen a couple cars go by earlier, and it's 27 degrees up there. So they're getting warmer as well. There goes a truck. But you know what this is meaning? We're getting into spring turkey. We weren't able to go to ATA to check out the new bows to use for spring turkey, but right. I think we need to talk to somebody about that.
I think we got somebody on here that we can help us out with that. Mr. Bobby Vargas, PSE Archery. Hey, what's going on, Bobby, all the way from Tucson?
How are we doing, guys? There's a lot going on down here.
Well, there's no snow now, so we're doing good.
There isn't 27 degrees down here, but
what's that low at night here? I can still tell you that. How you been?
Starting to warm up, starting to feel some spring temperatures out here. Oddly enough, we did get a good blanket of snow Saturday before last, which was super unusual. And we happened to be camping out for a 3D tournament that weekend and woke up to 5 inches of snow outside. But we survived it. I know that's just a dusting for you guys, but that's a lot for us. But we survived it.
Well, 5 inches is a lot for us right now. This year's been pretty mild.
Right.
We've been lucky.
So you went and shot a 3D tournament.
I did.
What bow did you use?
I took we just came off of our best hunting season of the year for us. The January season is when our deer are rutting. So the whole month of January is our archery season. So I spent, the last several months, working on my Carbon Mach 1. And so it's dialed in, shooting great. I didn't want to set up something new for this first tournament of the year. So I just took my hunting bow right out of my hunting bag and shot that 3D tournament.
What distances are you shooting for that tournament?
Anywhere from 15 to 55 at this one. It's not a sanctioned event by ASA or IBO or anything, so it's pretty much club rules. And this club, likes to make it challenging, so they were anywhere from 15 to 55 yards or so.
Now, typically when you go shoot your 3D tournaments like that, is that what you set up your distances for, or what's your comfortable distance that you shoot out to?
My comfortable distance that I'll shoot out to?
Yep.
At a target?
Yeah, at a target that's not moving.
So at on my hunting site now, and I can grab it so you can look at it, but my bottom pin is 80 yards. And I can keep it on a 2-inch dot pretty consistently.
80 yards. So Danny, you better be a lot further than that.
To be honest with you, I would have more pins in it if I had a bigger sight body, but that's as much as I could fit in this sight. So I feel pretty good.
That's the thing we talk about, Mike and I and whoever we're talking about. We're shooting indoor leagues now, which is 19 meters. And then we're be moving outdoors, and then you start getting into your distances, and everybody's looking at everybody else, and, what's the distance? And like you said, if you practice it and you feel comfortable out to 80, then it's all good. It's just, you're not winging them. You're, like you said, a 2-inch dot, you're pretty consistent at.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I'll drop one every now and then or put one out an inch or two, but most of the time I can pretty much drop it into that dot. So I feel pretty good about that. And a lot of it's shot execution. Whether it's 15 yards or 80 yards, you still have to execute the shot. So if you're not pulling off good shots, if you're not anchoring consistently, you're not gonna hit the spot. It won't be near as noticeable at 15, 20 yards, obviously, but you don't want to get lazy at those distances. You want to make the same shot at 15 yards that you do at 80 yards.
Well, that's the key to it, right? It's repetition of getting the shot execution, and whether, like you said, because whether you do it, it just happens much faster at 15 yards, and it gets more exaggerated at 80 yards.
Right.
That's exactly right. Yeah, but then, like you said, if your comfort level at 70, 80, whatever your comfort level is with your long distance, just practice, and anything closer is going to feel like a chip shot.
Exactly.
But still got to execute.
Absolutely, and especially it's nice to be able to get out there and practice as much as you can and do what you can, and it's one of those things that it takes practice to learn your equipment, to know what you're shooting and how it shoots.
Yep, exactly. That's what's nice about being in southern Arizona. We have a few more nice weather days out here to shoot outside than you guys do.
He's going to rub it in a little bit here.
Right. There's just a couple extra days. That's all. Don't worry.
That's all I need is a few days.
Well,
right.
we talked in here about the practice and all that, and when we started the show, I want to step back just a little bit. We didn't get our usual ATA 3 or 4 days to hang out together, and everybody talked about it, and we're missing it. How's things going? Since the typical ATA time frame to now. I mean, what's kind of going on in the archery world? Was there an impact, negatively or positively, by the ATA show not happening this last year?
I think probably a little bit of both. The negative impact is just the fact that it didn't happen. So many people look forward to it every year. People love, just like us. I like hanging out with you guys for a couple days, and it's the only time of year I get to see you guys, and it's the only time you're going to get me out into that nasty cold weather. So take advantage of it. But on the good side of it, all of us manufacturers and anybody that would have been there as an exhibitor, and we put out any show specials or still let dealers take advantage of getting good deals on products. So I think it was a good thing. Lots of people have mixed emotions, but it was a good thing. Dealers didn't have to travel, didn't spend the money on travel, but they still saved the money on getting some good deals on some products. So since then, we've been crazy busy at the factory. Production is busy. I hate to say it, people are probably tired of hearing me saying it, but we're a little bit in back order status right now, and a lot of it is because the order bank is good, but we're having a hard time, like most manufacturers, getting material. Our material suppliers are dealing with COVID, and their suppliers are dealing with COVID, and everything is behind. But the end user doesn't care why we're behind; they just want equipment. So we kind of explained that enough, and I'm tired of hearing it from our suppliers too. But it's good. Production is busy. Orders are going well. The new bow introductions have gone over well. I feel like our plan to execute the product introductions went over well. They would have gone over better had we had the materials in place to do what we needed and wanted to do at the time the bows were introduced. Because this last year, we changed up our product introduction time frame where we used to drop everything October 1st. But last year we decided, let's move away from the October 1st introduction. We started doing it a few years ago with our target bows, where I was introducing new target bows at the ASA Classic in August. So we were a couple months ahead of the game on target bows, and then hunting bows and everything else would come in October. But then when we dropped the new line, we dropped 27 new models, and we're having to ramp up production to build all of these models. So then we're in back order status for the first 5 or 6 months of the product year. So we decided to do multiple introductions throughout the year. And that's what we'll talk about today, a few of the bows that we introduced throughout the year. But without having material to have these bows built and ready to ship, and on the introduction date, it's hurt a little bit, but people are being patient. And for any of you guys listening or watching out there, we sure do appreciate you guys. Appreciate your patience. Hang in there. It's coming. I promise. We're building as fast as we can.
Well, with COVID, I think everybody pretty well expects that. I mean, because it's happening all across all industries, really. And we've heard it a lot, in the hunting industry where, products or supplies can't get to the manufacturers. So, I think people are pretty understandable. Even though us archers, we are a little antsy and want to get out and shoot the new stuff, as soon as possible, too.
Yeah.
One of the other things that with being patient and people not understanding is, and this goes, I hope, throughout industry wide, but I know PSE for sure, is your quality control. You don't want to get into a tailspin of rushing things and start to screw up things, and then you get a bad batch of things, and then it just leads to more problems.
Or using cheaper material.
Whatever, yeah, and me in the audio industry, we're seeing that coming now into the steel side of it, and exactly. So you don't want to rush. People got to understand that, you've got certain quality that you guys need to adhere to make sure that bow, when you send it out, you are standing behind it with the quality you said you're going to provide.
Yeah, we're not willing to sacrifice quality. I mean, we're still doing the best we can to get as much product out the door as quick as possible, but we're not gonna look for cheaper materials just to get it in house to build and ship it. We're gonna stick with what we know works and works best for the end user, and just continue to do the best we can to build as fast as we can.
That sounds good to me. And you know what? We're coming up on our first break. And how about we take a break, and when we come back, we're going to start talking about those new bows right after this.
All right, we're going to step outside, and we'll be right back after this. Okay.
All right, anybody out there, you got questions for Bobby about archery? Anything archery? He'll answer.
Every time we're supposed to say anything bad.
Yeah, you don't say anything bad right now.
Unless it's about Danny. Go ahead and say all you want bad about Danny.
Why?
Bobby, you can't see this, but honestly, I mean, I knew you were coming on tonight, so I really wanted to dress up. I got my really nice Shooter PSE shirt on. Danny comes out in a T-shirt. Now, what kind of respect is that?
Really? Really? Really?
Oh, dude, I planned that. I've been waiting.
Fires on the bus get you, Danny?
Man, I tell you what. Nothing like being the window licker on the short bus.
Oh, there's so many jokes there.
I know, right?
Bobby, he makes it so easy.
It was 4 days of not having Bobby ride me. But he started.
Oh, it didn't take long.
That's why we invented the step-side van.
Yeah, I just tee it up and just let him hit him out of the park.
Right.
All right, here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back, second segment of the show. And as we alluded to before we went to break, we want to start talking about bows. We got some new hot items that we want to talk about tonight, Bobby.
Where are we going first?
Yeah, because we weren't at ATA. I mean, we kind of know what you got, but we want to see them.
Awesome. Well, I've got a couple here to show you. Man, I don't even know where to start because I wanted to start with my favorite, but every single one of these are pretty awesome.
Well, since you've been toying with them since invention,
go ahead and pick one.
Pick one.
I'll just start in order of how I laid them on the table today, and I think it's going to be a pretty good order to begin with.
All right. So what's that order? What's the first one?
Particular one? Let me see if you can see this.
The Evo Evil. It looks like Evil, but EVL.
Yep.
All right.
The new EVL, the Evo from last year in the 31, 33, and 35-inch configuration were super popular. And, of course, every time we make a particular configuration or an axle-to-axle link, somebody wants something different. So we had enough people asking for that 32 and that 34. We hadn't had anything exactly in that geometry in the high-end line for a while, so we introduced the new Evo EVL 32 and 34. We built it basically off of the Evo platform. The Evos from last year had more of a laid-back limb angle than we had on the bows of years past, which gave it a much better feel on the shot. It increased brace height a little bit, so we lost a little bit of speed, maybe 4 or 6 feet per second, but they're still crazy fast. I mean, this Evo 32, we're looking at 344 feet per second with a 6.5-inch brace height. So really not giving up anything, but you're gaining everything and maintaining speed, getting great feel. The Evo 32 is available in multiple colors. I have it in the tan, textured tan right now, and we have lots of camos, mossy oak, real tree, we have Cutie Verde, all of the cool camos out there.
Absolutely. You got black and First Light Fusion. And
now, are these sticking with the ECS cam system, I assume, correct?
Yeah, we're going to stay with the ECS cam system. Man, Mike, that cam is just too good to let go and too good to change. I mean, this
absolutely.
I got to say, this is the first time in my history of being there. I just celebrated my 24th anniversary at the end of February, but we've had this Evo cam, the Evolve cam, the exact same since it came out. Haven't made a single change to it. The only thing we've done was create a smaller version of it with the SE cam, so we can get you shorter draw lengths. But other than that, I mean, that cam is so good, it's so smooth to draw, rock solid wall. Adjustable let off, crazy good speeds. When you draw this cam for the first time, you wouldn't believe you're going to get the kind of speeds we're getting out of a cam that pulls that smooth. So yes, to answer your question, we're still sticking with the Evolve cam system, but one thing that we did add is the precision bus tuning system to the new EVL models.
Okay.
So if you remember that all of the Evo and Evolve cams from the last several years had a floating bus system with a splitter here,
right?
So you couldn't do any fine tuning with your unibus. Well, now we've got the precision bus tuning system here, so you still have the option of spacing your cam. You can still adjust your cable guard rod to tune. You can still move your arrow rest to tune. But if you just want to get some real fine tuning out of your bow, you have your precision bus tuning system now, where you can induce lean to the cam if you needed to.
So just a little more flexibility in ways to tune and get exactly where you want it to be.
As if you didn't already have enough options and ways to tune these bows, we gave you another one here. So if you go through all of your tuning options and you still can't get that bow to tune, then you probably need to go see a coach.
Dang. I'm just kidding.
I just call Bobby.
No, but he does want to make sure that we order SE cam for his bow. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Here we go. Here comes the short jokes. So with that, okay, now that's a great. You're talking about this cam system that has been phenomenal. I mean, like last year's NXTs that we shot, we had them tuned in within 2 arrows, I think. They were shooting bullet holes.
I was blown away.
And then we went and shot 3D.
Yeah, I've never shot a bow that fast. Shot a bow and had it tuned that fast, and went out and shot a 3D course, and was just blown away.
I believe it. Yeah, they're so easy to tune. I don't have to do much with them out of the box. Of course, I'm touching bows every day, all day long, so I can take one out of the box and pretty much eyeball the rest and knocking point and set it and walk over to the paper tuner and pretty dang near get a bullet hole on, if not the second shot. I almost promise you that. But they're just so easy. They're so easy to set up. And it's kind of funny because I get calls every now and then, or I'll get a message on Facebook, somebody asking me a question. I just got this bow, I'm setting it up. What is your center shot measurement? And here's my reply sometimes is you close your eye and then you look down the middle of the string like that, and you set the arrow rest in line with the string. Even if I give you a perfect measurement to start from, it's still just a starting point.
Right.
So
that's a great thing that you talk about is some people like to tinker, not gonna lie, but make sure if you need to get to a professional pro shop out there that can help you get to what you need. Mike and I, we don't mess with our bows. We take them to the pro shop, let them guys do it professionally, because like we said, 2 shots and we were shooting bullet holes because they knew exactly what they needed to do. We weren't sitting in
why do I want to mess with it all day, not knowing what I'm doing, and let the guys who know how to work on them.
Right, exactly. So it's just a great thing, Bobby, that like you said, you touch them all the time, but if you don't, like Mike and I, we shoot them, but on the technical side, we leave that to the professionals. So just a reminder to get there.
Yeah, leave it to the professionals to do it. And most of us in-house that we are shooters, we take our tuning to another level too, beyond just paper tuning. Paper tuning is a very good starting point. It's not the be-all, end-all for saying your bow is tuned. But I got to say, for most people out there, it's a very good starting point, and it's where they're going to do their best. So the bow is going to do the rest of the work for you. As long as you're doing the same thing over and over again, like we talked about earlier on, the bow's going to perform for you.
Right, and so also the 32, it comes in a 34 with an EC and an SC cam.
So the 32 is standard with a big cam, and then the 34 will come standard with the SE, and then the 34 LD is going to have the big ECS cam on it.
Okay, and looking at this, we got the specs up on the screen for everybody to see.
While go back to them there.
While we're looking at, and truthfully, we're looking at just a 1/2 inch difference in brace height. There, besides axle to axle. That's a couple of questions we're going to ask later on in a later segment. Is I'm seeing a lot of stuff out there in social media land about exactly getting those measurements, and we kind of want to ask you how you actually do that. So we'll leave that for later. But these both bows, let's see, 4.5 pounds and 4.7 pounds. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. We've gone ultra lightweight over the last couple of years, and people like it, and it seems like the trend is going back to feel good, and we probably had the best feeling lightweight bows out there, but the more mass weight you put into the handle, the better it's going to feel too. And getting feedback from consumers, that was one thing that wasn't mentioned as much over the last year. So they're willing to carry around just a little bit more. They're going to hold it steadier. Bow's going to feel better on the shot. But overall, a little more weight is a little better overall. If you're one of the guys that's going to spend 99% of his time hunting with it, and you're sitting in a stand shooting 15 to 22 yards, it's really not going to matter what you're carrying out there. But for the guys that are weight conscious, guys that are really wanting to make those long distance shots, anything within their effective range, of course, but a slightly heavier bow is going to be a better bow for you. And I've always said it at the factory when we went lighter and lighter and lighter, and I asked them, do we want lightweight or the right weight? I mean, so what is it? It just depends on what the consumers want. So if you want lightweight, we have a carbon at 3.2. If you prefer something a little heavier, shoot that EVL at 4.7. I mean, and we have everything in between that too. I mean,
that's the thing. Besides weight, I noticed one of the more finickier things on a person with a bow is the handle grip. Some like it thin, some like it thick. Some it's interesting to watch people. Oh, this is too thick or this is too thin.
Yeah.
So
and that's a neat point that you bring up, because we had that brought up to us a lot over the last couple of years. So in the beginning of 2020, we introduced our overmold comfort grip. So the bows will ship with this, and I wasn't sure how I was going to like it, because I've always liked the real narrow grip on our handles. And then I started shooting one with the overmold comfort grip, and it's a good feeling grip.
I like it.
Yeah, it's really narrow. But if you don't like having an extra grip on there, there's two mounting bolts right here, one here and one on the other side. You rip that off, and it's the same radius grip that you've had on our bows for the last several years. So you have both options.
Right, yeah, exactly. And then if you want, you can go to a piece of tape or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, I left the overmold grip on mine last year, and it didn't bother me at all. I was quite surprised at the feel of it. It definitely made it, a nice, noticeable difference for me. It felt really good in the hand, so I just left it on.
I did that as well with my 33. I'll probably leave it on this 32.
Okay, we covered everything on that one there.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. One quick question while you're getting the next one there. 31, 33, and 35, and then now we got 32 and the 34s. 1 inch difference on the length like that. I mean, what are we getting out of that? I mean, why is it that critical, that 1 inch difference? Does it make that much of a difference, or is it just what people are wanting for length?
It's just what people are wanting, and then us being able to react to it. Okay. I mean, between a 34 and a 35, no, you're not going to see a huge difference. But between our 31 from last year and our 35 from last year, obviously significant difference. Mm-hmm. So we had the 35 in the line for the Evo NXT was in the line for a year, but we've had several 35s in that Evo and that Evolve line for the last 4 years. So there are a lot of 35-inch options out there.
Okay.
Not a lot of 34-inch options out there. We had the 33, we had the 31. So lucky, lots of people have bought those geometries and already have them in hand. So it's time to offer, something slightly different. And with having a design team in-house and being able to react to those kind of requests, we're able to come up with a 32 and a 34.
Yeah, that's what I like about you guys. You listen to the consumer, and when they make some requests, you guys pretty well follow suit and give people what they want.
Yeah, pretty much. Feel pretty good about being able to do that. And it's neat to be inside to see it all happen too.
All right, so what's the next one we got there?
So the next one in our hunting line, another price point model, and that's our Drive NXT.
Okay.
Yep. So the Drive NXT, the Drive model is kind of a sleeper bow. I mean, even at the price point, or get to your local dealer and check the price point out there. I believe I want to say it's $699 bow only. Might even be $699 for the package. I didn't bring my price book here in front of me, but I know this is a mid-price point hunting model bow. You're getting, speeds. Where are we? Shooting 330 feet per second. Got an 80% let-off standard ZF cam on this one. It's got a rotating inner cam module on it for adjustable draw length. This one does not have the adjustable let-off that the ECS cam does, but just one of the things that you give up for going to a price point model bow.
Right.
But other than that, I really can't point out very many other things that you're giving up going to this model. I mean, you're getting incredible speeds. You're getting smooth pull cam, high let off, super comfortable feel. It has the new precision bus tuning system on there. They also share the same backstop. They have live wire custom bowstrings. So you're getting all top of the line stuff and top of the line performance, top of the line features at a mid price point bow. This is a dealer only bow. You won't find this bow at any kind of box store, only at your dealer. So get to your dealers to try it out. It's available in multiple colors, weight options, right hand, left hand, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, that Drive NXT, and also coming in at 4.3 pounds. And what you did gain is on this one, your draw length increases. You can go from 24 to 31 on this one. Huge.
Yeah, that's huge. So with one cam, you can fit so many people, so many archers out there.
That's nice.
So,
and that's one of the things. One of the things nice about it. One of the things we always noticed about PSE was the ability to cover a wide variety of your customer base, young, old, short, tall. You always, there's something in the line for them to try.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a great thing. And this Drive NXT, like you said, is at your local pro dealer. So you need to get over there and shoot them, because you got to shoot these things. Because I had a coworker hit me up and say, hey, when's, he ended up purchasing the EVL, but he went through and he shot the Hoyt, the Matthews, and the PSE. He went over there to Derek over at Sunrise, lined him up, and he just kept shooting.
There you
go. And Derek kept saying, what feels good with you? And it ended up being the EVL.
Nice.
And people are probably tired of hearing me say this. I know I say it on every time I get with you guys, but I can sit here and tell you how good these bows feel all day long, but you really have to go get in your hands, try it, shoot it, feel it, and get to your dealer. Most of these are already out at our dealers. Just get out there and try it. I mean,
we say it every year.
We say it every year, and every time we get asked, we always get the, well, you're PS. I said, well, hold on. Either Mike or I, and we'll do the same. We'll pull the three, whatever brands are available wherever we're at, and we'll pull different ones and go, here, shoot them all. Don't tell us. You tell me what you like.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's good. Give them options. There's lots of options out there, and we're not going to get them all, but, I mean, if one of ours is available to try, we're going to win most of the time.
Yeah. You're talking about that Drive NXT. There's a guy on here now that actually I helped get set up with the Drive about 3 years ago, and he absolutely loves it. One of the guys at our hunting camp. AJ, I see you're on, so you go over and check out the new NXT.
Right? Time for an upgrade, buddy.
That's right. It's time for a new model.
All right, where do you want to go next?
We got another price point hunting bow that we introduced. And most of you guys, I know you guys were in the booth the year that we brought John Dudley on board with us with Knock On Nation. That's been a great partnership. He's done lots for us. We've done great for his brand as well. But one of the things that I was excited about was, after bringing him on board, we know how I don't know if this is the right word for it, but how picky he is. I mean, he's perfection. He loves everything top of the line, high end, everything. And I thought that was all we were only going to be able to offer. But just recently we introduced the new Embark, and it's going to be another price point model in the Dudley series. So super happy to have him, come in and put this configuration together and give us his blessing on this model. It's very similar to the Drive, but not exact. It's got a few different specs to it.
Yeah, exactly. You're with the Embark to the Drive that we've talked about, those two price points. You're also getting a shorter bow, from a 33 on the Drive to a 31 on the Embark.
Right. So again, two slightly different geometries there. There's still the guys that like that 31, and I mean, there's millions of people out there, and we all want something different. So luckily, for everyone, PSE can give everyone something different. So with that Embark at 31 inches axle to axle comes in at only 4.3 pounds. It's got that same 80% let off ZF cam that we introduced. The big difference between the two is that this cam is going to have the cool Knock On Nation logo on there. You won't get that on the Drive, but super smooth to pull. Just feels great. I love the textured feel of it, and we're doing that in Special Ops Black and in Knock On Green. I like that textured feel to it. The film dip always look awesome, but personally, I like to have a little bit of texture and feel to it. So the Special Ops and the Knock On Green will give you that. But like I said, with the Drive, I mean, you're not giving up really anything, and you're gaining everything. High performance, high speed, great feel. It's got the Limbolt barrels here are machined out to put the quick detach sling system on it. The Embark is going to have the dual rest mounting holes here, so all it does is just keeps your rest ultra tight, as if you weren't tight enough already. But put dual mounting holes on there, you don't ever have to worry about that arrow rest coming loose, and if it does, it's not gonna angle up or down because of that dual mounting rest on there. And what you do get with this one over the Drive is the carbon rod, but it's in the optimal fixed position, and the precision tuning bus system. And man, I can go on and on about it, but like I said, you got to get down to your dealer and try one.
So this is a pro shop only bow as well?
Correct. Pro Series only bow. You won't find this at a box store. Only at your local pro shops and dealers.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we need to take our second break, so we're going to step outside, take our next break, and that way we can kind of regroup here and figure out which one we're going to go to next. So,
all right.
Everybody get your questions ready here. Get them online here in the chat room, and we're going to step outside, and we'll be right back after this.
Ooh, I see some questions coming up.
Yeah, I've seen some there.
Yeah, they're coming up. What's going to be next, Bobby?
We'll go into a couple of target bows.
Okay.
Sweet. Excellent. And the one who asked the question is why I brought up the handle question.
Right?
What was it?
It's my brother. He's like Mr. Picky with his handle thicknesses. I knew it. I'm like,
that's what duct tape's for, or hockey tape. Hockey tape. That's what I've got on my target bow.
Right?
Older.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Third segment of the show. We've talked a little bit about the hunting lineup here. Now it's time to get into the target lineup.
You know, speaking of target, before we get back to Bobby.
Okay.
This is our last week of indoor.
It is.
It is position week.
Is that what it is?
Sunday night is position week.
Where are we at, by the way? Do I even want to know?
Well, I don't want to get you nerved up.
Are we going up against the boys we went up against 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. It's 1-2.
Oh, man.
Right?
Bobby, you got to throw some good PSC luck, man, our way. I guess we're sitting in second place. So,
I will.
And I got to, I got to give a shout out to Rich Tyberg. I had him autograph one of our koozies, and I did it respectfully because it goes to show you about archery people.
He's a recurve shooter, right?
He's a recurve shooter, and there's been this lady there. I think she just might have got into it the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
And his name was given to her to go find.
Okay.
And just before our league, she found him, and he, didn't hold anything back. Gave her all the information she needed about where she was holding the bow or fingers below, above. But it was just awesome to see him just passing out the knowledge when asked. It wasn't he wasn't holding anything, wasn't gonna, but he did it. So I just had to give him a shout out. Good job, absolutely. It's just ways the archery world works.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anybody out there that is the other way.
No, I see a lot of people, and Bobby, out there, that are just willing to bend over backwards to help people learn the sport, or just whatever. Even give them tips on bows and setup or gear or what have you.
That is awesome. We can't have enough of that. 'Cause if the experience isn't good, it's not something you're going to want to stick with. And it's funny because there's a local shop here. I haven't shot there in a year just because everything's been shut down. I haven't had leagues, but now they're starting to open up again. But when my boy and I were going there for league on Friday nights, it's hard not to look at everyone as they're shooting. And I'm not trying to pick them apart, but you just notice things. And if you see something where they might need a hand somewhere, I have a real hard time not talking to them about it. And it ends up taking up most of the evening. But I hope they appreciate it, and I feel like they leave there feeling better about a few tips about what they can do better, or set their bow up a little differently. But the experience has to be good, and if you're not having a good time with it with anything, why would you want to do it again if you're not having fun doing it? So.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes the word fun for me, if I'm having a bad night, shut up, Danny. It's almost like golf. It's fun, but if you're not challenging yourself, I don't feel like you're growing. I mean, I'm always trying to get better.
That's the most frustrating fun that I have is golfing.
That's a great way to put it. The most frustrating fun that you can have.
Yeah.
Shut up, Danny.
I'll strike well a couple times, and maybe my head gets big after that, and I don't focus on the next hole, and change a few balls. But I keep going, and we're going again this Saturday. By the way, we have, in case you didn't know, Danny, we're going to be like 74 degrees this Saturday, and lots of sunshine. So I'm going to take advantage of that one extra good weather day out of the year that we have compared to you guys, and we'll do a little golfing.
One extra day.
I know, right?
Yeah. 1 extra month, maybe someday, 2 extra months.
Someday, I'm going to drag him through the snow in Michigan somehow, some way.
I thought you were going to say someday you're going to come down here. You've been threatening to do that.
I want to do that. There is no doubt in my mind I want to get out to Arizona. There is no doubt. Speaking of getting out there, if we want to get to our target bows, what are we going to get to?
Well, one of the new bows that we just introduced, another price point bow that is replacing our price point bow from last year. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but you think I would know it because I'm in the middle of them all day long, but I'm also in the middle of so many different names all day long, I kind of forget too. But this is our new laser. This is I don't know if you can see that there.
Yeah.
So 37 inches axle to axle. We went with a pure, kind of too close to the screen there, but went with a straight handle design. It's going to have a new cam on there. It's a smaller cam system, but because it's on a relatively longer axle to axle bow, we're still meeting a lot of the draw lengths. It'll go out to 31.5 inches and down to I think 25 inches, but a great price point model bow. It's a heck of a shooting bow, and from a lot of the guys that I've been talking to that have been testing this, they're putting it right up against our top of the line citations and things like that. But you're paying not near the price of a citation, almost half, not quite. But another great bow that we introduced, another awesome price point bow out there. Just can't say enough how proud I am of our engineers and our team and the marketing team to come up with and design bows like this, and including the quality that we do and getting it into your hands at the price we're able to get it at. and still give you optimum performance. So take a look at that laser. This is also a dealer only bow, so get out to your dealers to find that PSE laser.
You talking about the price point? Is that the one that possibly took over the Phenom? Is that the bow you're thinking of?
Yes.
Okay.
Taking over the Phenom.
That was the first one. My first target bow was the Phenom.
Yep.
I shot that the first year I shot target.
That was a neat little bow too. That was straight handle design. It looked like it had some deflex in it because of the curves we put in the riser, but it was actually a straight riser design. That was a great shooting bow. It turned into a great bow fishing bow too. Wasn't originally what it was designed for, but it turned into a great bow fishing bow too.
Y'all ruined me by getting me in the target game. I mean, that bow did it for me. When I first started shooting, I was like, this is fun. I mean, when you said frustrating fun, it is frustrating fun at times, but it is. You get out there and start shooting dots, man. It's just, if you've never experienced it, it's something that you need to try.
You got to try it.
Yeah.
It's something you try. Shooting that Vegas game, it's so much fun. Once you try for so long, so hard to shoot that 300, and once you start shooting 300s, and now you're wanting to build your X count, and it's frustrating when one day you're shooting 320, 22 X's, and then next day you shoot a 299 with 10 X's. Like, what is so different today than yesterday? But we keep trying and keep executing and keep working towards that perfect game.
This is my third season, mine and Danny's third season now, and 2 weeks ago, there was something about that night. I shot really well, but all of a sudden something just clicked, and when you feel it, everything just starts to come together. And I'll probably go this week, and who knows what'll happen.
You'll shoot good this week. Let's get the positive going. It's position.
But it is, once you feel that, it's just like, wow, okay, I get it now. And you don't until it happens. But when it happens, it clicks. So
yeah.
So
that's awesome. I love those nights, and I hope you have more of those nights than not. But
right on.
Yeah, that's awesome. So talking about having our engineers in house and being able to react to the market and being able to come up with configurations that fit just about anyone. Danny, this one was has pure default inspiration on it. It's our new Citation bow, and I was a little reluctant to bring this one out here tonight, only because we haven't built and shipped any yet, but it is going to be available. It is a bow that we introduced, and it's in the catalogs. They're out on the dealers counter right now. And this particular one in my hand is a Citation 34. It's a 34-inch axle-to-axle bow. It's made to be, to be that short draw archer or beginner in that younger age group there. But it's made to be a performance bow at that short draw market. All the bells and whistles that the other models are going to have. The other two are going to be a 36-inch axle-to-axle and a 40-inch axle-to-axle. The 36s and the 40s we've been shipping for the last several months now. We're still in back order status on a lot of them. I just had a call today from a shooter looking for his polished titanium ones. And, Mike, if you're watching tonight, we're working on it, buddy. I promise you. But it is on order. We'll get it to you as soon as we can. But the Citation is pretty awesome because we haven't had a deflex handled target bow in the line for some time. We had some reflex stuff with the Perform X, which didn't really bother a lot of the target shooters out there, even though they thought and felt that they wanted and needed a deflex handle to be accurate. But really, with the PSE bows and the X-Tech limb technology and the super short launch times that we have with all of our bows, whether it's a 6-inch brace height or a 7.5-inch brace height, launch time is still so short, so your shots are going to be super accurate every single time as long as you're pulling off good shots, of course. But deflex handle design, shoot through handle, as you can see there. We have weight mounting bushings on the front and back. That's dual on front and back. This particular one, because it's the 34-inch handle, we only had room for one. Can't put too much more out there in front, but you do have two out back to work with. A brand new pocket design. It's a lot wider than our pocket design from the past, and also longer. So it just creates that much more stability from shot to shot. A cool little thing there is we put the PSC logo on the inside of the limb too. But the first few citations that went out the door had our standard floating yoke systems, but we're switching over to this system. If you order a bow today or have had one on order, I can't really tell you which system is going to come with, because we're in the transition stage to making them all this way. So there might still be some that are going to go out the door with the original floating system. But going forward, we're going to be building them with that system. We got a tunable cable guard system where you can adjust it in and out for tuning. Stainless steel rod. And this has the ever popular machined grip style on it. It's not going to come with the rubber grip. You can slip one on there if you wanted to, but this is how it'll ship to you from the factory. And as always, our custom live wire strings. These are made in-house right in Tucson. I'll put them up against any of your top of the line custom strings out there any day. Other than that, that's pretty much it with the target stuff. Yeah. Lots of options out there. We can fit so many different configurations: EM cam, SE cam, rotating inner cam module for draw length adjustment, let off adjustment with the SE cam models. Even the EM cam has different modules that offer different let off options. So, man, really, whatever let off you want or whatever holding weight you're looking for, you can get it with any one of these configurations. If there's a string angle that you like, as long as we're fitting it within your draw length, you can get it with a 34, 36, 40. So no excuses. We've got something that'll fit you, and it will fit you just right.
Obviously not everybody. because Dan Yasa's on the live stream with us, and he's I wouldn't know what to do with that caliber of bow, he tells me. Thanks, Dan. You were my mentor.
That's good.
You're
Luckily,
gone.
like talked about a little while ago, he's close to you where he could be one of those guys that can spend a few minutes with you and teach you how to shoot that bow.
There you go.
Exactly.
Well, getting back to the bow there a little bit, you're talking about the dual mounting holes on the back there. The thought in that, I assume, is you drop that weight down, you get it down, you got a lower center of gravity, it holds that bow a lot steadier when that weight's down lower on the bottom end, correct?
The lower you get it, and then the lower you get it to, it lowers your center of gravity. It lets you use less weight to get you the same balance that you would get by mounting it up higher with more weight, if that makes sense. But there's some guys that are out there that just load their bows up like crazy. I'm too much of a sissy for that, so I like the lower mounting bracket so I can use less weight to give me the same balance that I would get with the upper mounting hole.
Okay, I didn't even think about that. Getting that down lower, yeah, you can drop that weight down, get the weight off of it a little as well. Nice.
And the further away you get the weight from your pivot point here too, more of a plumb bob you get. You drop it down here, it helps with holding your bubble level. I mean, you still always want to check it. You can use your stabilizer system to kind of help set your level, but that kind of works as somewhat of a plumb bob too.
Does that one have the hole in the rear on the center to come out the back for weight on the bottom?
What was that now?
Yeah, okay, I see him.
Yeah,
I got him. Yep.
There's two mounting holes.
There's two of them. Yep, okay. Nope, exactly. The lower the weight, the more steadier the bow in hand.
Yeah.
And like you said, some out there just load it up with whatever they got, and then to me it gets finicky. It's like,
it can, but it works really well for some guys.
Oh, absolutely. That's why you got to get out there and shoot and practice and mess around with it and monkey around with it. It's one of those things. It becomes a personal preference.
I can't even pick up Danielle's bow. I need a spotter just to hold his bow, let alone shoot it.
See, there you go.
You watch him shoot it, and he shoots that bow well. I wouldn't want to have to go up against him, but I would gladly do it just to be able to hang out with him again.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. We've done it 3 or 4 times, and it's eye-opening, believe me. We learn a lot just by hanging out and walking the course with them. There's things that just blow my mind that I learn. So it's always a great experience. You know?
Absolutely,
great experience.
Him and Jason Pfister. So
that's right. Jason's on tonight as well.
Yeah. So
hey, Jason.
All right. So well, I tell you what. Let's save the rest of the time here for the last segment. So we're going to step outside. We'll take our last break, and we'll come back and
we'll get to the questions.
We'll get some questions and try to answer a few of those. So we'll be right back after this. All righty, we'll save this one off here.
All right, last segment, everybody.
Did we cover all the bows, or you got anything else over there?
No, that's all I brought.
Okay, all right,
perfect.
If you want to go into my garage, I probably have one or two in there we could talk about.
Yeah, I'm sure.
One or two, three or four.
No, I don't hang on to them. I have some favorites that I hang on to, but for the most part, I'll shoot a bow and shoot it for a year and kill a few things with it and poke a few holes in some paper, and then I bring it back and get something else.
The one that I've hung on to that I just simply love is the Evolve 28. I love that short axle. I don't know what it is about it. I mean, it's got a steep string angle on it, but for some reason, I love the way it fits my hand and feels.
And that's a prime example of what we were talking about earlier. You love that small axle-to-axle geometry, and it works well for you.
Well, you know what? Let's springboard off of that, because I know Danny's got some questions. I'll mention that coming right back out here, and we'll chase that rabbit. All righty here. Oh no, I don't want that.
Dan Yassa says, come down and shoot again sometime.
I want to, believe me.
Right.
The problem is we can't leave the state, or at least I can't leave the state because of COVID. If I leave the state, I got to take a mandatory 10-day quarantine, no matter what, and everything we post online, I mean, I can't leave. I want to so bad.
Uh-oh. Bobby's been called out. Da-na-na.
Uh-oh. All right, here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Last segment of the show. We've covered the hunting bows. We've covered target bows. We've covered a little bit of the ATA that didn't happen.
Right.
And talking in the break there, we were talking about bows, hanging on to bows that we really like. And I had mentioned that, the one that I've hung on to is the Evolve 28, that really, the short axle. And Danny, you had mentioned actually at the beginning of the show talking about axle, and there's some things floating around.
Yeah. So one of the things I see on our wonderful social media pages is people, it's just questions thrown out there, and I know PSE watches and everything, but the correct methods to measure things, the correct way to measure axle to axle is how?
Well, it's pretty simple, and just like the name implies, we'll, as closely as you can get from the center of that axle to the center of that axle. That's how we measure axle to axle length, and they're usually within about an eighth of an inch of each other. And the kind of funny thing is, even a cheap tape measure will give you a slight different reading. I mean, the actual measurement on the tape is the same, but you got that little hook on the end of it that slides a little bit, that moves a little bit. People don't really realize that, so they'll put that on their bow and measure, and their tape measure measures a little bit longer than ours did before it left the factory. It's only this much, but still, it's a little different. But just from the center of the axle to the center of the axle, top and bottom, that's how we get our measurement.
And I noticed as you were talking about the bows, hunting ones or the target ones, brace height. 6.5, 7. How would you go about measuring correct brace height?
So the way you measure it is with from the factory set position with your limb bolts in the bottomed out position. Measure from the deepest point of the grip to the string in the static position. So in this position, that's how you get brace height. So one thing that people don't realize is if you get, like one of the bows I showed you earlier had 15 limb bolt turns of adjustment on it. So if you take that limb bolt all the way out as far as it's going to go on the top and bottom, you're going to increase your brace height significantly. So to measure the factory published brace height, you need to do it with the limb bolts in the bottom position from the deepest point of the grip here to the string. And that's how you get race height.
Now, when you say in the bottom position, that's turned all the way in to increase the poundage to its maximum weight. Okay.
So if you see that one there, it's might be hard to see, but it's completely bottomed out, meaning that limb bolt cannot be turned in anymore. It's completely bottomed out. Some bows will leave the factory a half turn out. Our limbs are super precise, but they're not exact. I might get, a same set of deflection limbs on one bow that'll peak at 50 pounds bottom. Another, set of limbs with the same deflection that might be 52 pounds. So we have to take a half turn off the limb bolt. So they're very close, but not exact. So you might see a slight turn off the bottom from the factory, but within that half turn to bottom, you're still going to get an accurate race height measuring.
Okay. All right.
Cool. So another question coming from Tammy. What advice would you give to someone who wants to purchase a PSE bow? They need a light draw weight, but yet here in Michigan it's got to be at least 32 pounds. So what type of bow would you lead them to try for PSE in that light draw weight category?
My favorite bow that I usually recommend that fits that criteria is the Brute X or the Brute NXT. The Brute NXT, it's only 3.7 pounds. It's ultra lightweight and mass weight. You can get it in either a 55 pound or a 70 pound, but there is so much weight adjustment on that bow. You can take that 55 pounder down to, I want to say, the mid to low 20s, and that 70 pounder will get down to, I think, the mid 30s. So if we're just starting out and you want a good performing bow that has a lot of the high-end features, I would definitely look at that Brute NXT.
Okay, and the Brute NXT, like you said, goes from 22.5 all the way to 30, and like you said, with the turn down on it, you get a 55, but you can turn it way down.
Right.
Okay.
What is her draw length? Did she mention draw length?
No, she doesn't mention draw length. So
I'm going to say she's probably 28-ish.
She's tall.
Yeah, 28, 29.
Yeah. So
well, tall is a relative term when it comes to talking between you and me.
Right.
Well,
everybody's taller than us.
Yeah. So cool. Any
other ones there?
Yep.
The thing that is really neat about pretty much all of the cams, but starting with the cam that's on that Brute, it pulls a lot smoother than you think it would. So what I've heard from so many people is they can comfortably pull more weight than they thought they could because our cams are so smooth to pull. So you'd be surprised how much more weight you'd be able to pull with our bow compared to Brand X in a comparable model.
Right, and that's got 80% let off. So, once you get it past the peak, and then you're holding on to 80% of that, so it makes it really nice. A silencer question: can you add more silencers to a bow, or will it diminish the performance of the bow if you do so?
Only if you put it on the string. Anything you add to the string will slow it down. Knocking loop slows it down. A peep sight slows it down. We put speed knocks on the strings of the bow, and that helps to maintain speed. But if you add any kind of silencer to the string that's going to catch air on the shot, it's going to slow it down. It's going to feel better. You're going to lose a little bit, a few feet per second. But consider your application. If you're shooting out of a ground blind at 15, 20 yards, you're not going to lose enough speed to make a difference, but it'll make it feel better. If you're in a tree stand, with relatively close range shots there too, it will make it feel better. It'll make it a little quieter. It is going to make it a little slower, but probably not slow enough to make a difference at those kind of ranges. You have to slow it down 20 feet per second or more to start to see a difference in your pin settings and your pin gap. So yeah, you can put a silencer. You can silence it any way you can. You can put, and there's probably too many limb silencers that you can put on your limbs, but what comes on all of our bows already is already doing as much as it's going to do for that bow. So the only thing else that you could do with it is maybe put something on the string, which we already help with that by putting the backstop on. But a lot of the vibration and the noise you feel on a shot, with our bows, you're feeling next to nothing. But what you are feeling is a string oscillating back and forth after the shot. It happens so fast that you don't realize it or see it. You have to watch it in super slow-mo. But that little buzz you feel, it's the string vibrating as it comes to a stop. But since we have the backstop on our bow, it doesn't let the string travel as far forward as it normally would without it. So it stops the string faster. So it makes the oscillation stop a lot sooner. And plus, with the X Technology limb system that we have, the limbs pull the cable and string system together so tight, so fast, it also stops that vibration of the cable and string. So, yeah, probably gave you more than you wanted to hear, but yeah, you can put some string silencers on it. It's going to help a little bit. It's going to slow it down a little bit, but you're already getting probably the best performance out of it.
And truthfully, if you're going to put silencers on your bow, before you do that, have somebody stand next to you while you're shooting it, because since you're right there at the bow, you might think it's really noisy, but a couple yards away, it's a totally different ball game.
Well, what we've done a lot of times is we've taken our cell phone, and record it, so you can actually, you can hear what you think you're hearing up by your head, your ear as you shoot, versus, like Danny said, standing away, and seeing what the difference is.
Yeah.
If you were to want to thicken your grip, how would you want to do that? Would you? Go ahead.
There are a couple. I can't remember the exact name of it. I know our VP of sales uses it, but there's this overmold grip that you can put on there. It's big, kind of rubber, foamy rubber kind of stuff. I apologize. I can't think of the name.
No. It's fine. It's one of those things that it's a comfort thing, and you can use duct tape if you want to get to the thickness.
Hockey tape.
That's what I use. It's just one of those things. I know he's used to his wooden dartons that we used back in the 80s.
You're putting like a 4x4 in your hand,
right?
And it's kind of a hard question to answer, only because we've worked so hard on narrowing our grip as much as we can over the years and still maintain the structural integrity, the best we can without going too small. So right now we've got it as small as we can get it, because that's what the industry was asking for. But the less contact you have on your hand, the less chance you have of torquing the bow. So we're making our grips narrower and narrower and narrower. But even with the rubber overmold grip that we have now, it does widen it a little bit. But we worked long and hard on developing that grip to make it a super consistent grip, where it's not putting such a big piece in your hand that's going to create some torque. So personally, what I've used and what I like is the thinnest, racquetball tape. And then there's some tennis racket tape out there that's a little bit of like a foamy material. I've used that in the past before too, and that seems to work out well. But personally, I like the thinner stuff, so I use those ultra thin like racquetball tape.
Wow, man,
doesn't like Danny.
Wait a minute, why me?
Just Danny, buddy.
You must have heard my voice, right?
What that vicious sound was? Here, buddy. Come here.
So Dan Yass is calling you out that you should not lie. You won the Armed Hiker Award more than anybody.
Dan? No. to come back with that one. So, yes, I have had the Armed Hiker Award more than I care to say I have, but have not had it hanging in my office for the last 2 years at least. I've had a pretty good run, but yes, Dan, I have had the honor of receiving the Armed Hiker Award. And for those of you guys that don't know what it is, I developed this award. Shoot, I don't know. It was probably 13 or 15 years ago, where guys were going out on hunts, and a lot of us at the factory hunt, and we'd go on a hunt. If you didn't come back, without filling your tag, you were just hiking with a weapon, so you're armed hiking. So we just came up with this armed hiker award, and if you went out on a hunt and didn't kill anything, you would get this award, and there was this cool medallion. Not so cool if you're the recipient, but there was this medallion that we would have to wear for the day. We had exceptions for the guys that were working in the tool room because they can't have anything loose hanging off of them. But if you could, we had to wear the medallion for the day so the office could see it. And we had a big poster printed and framed that had to hang in your office in a very predominant place for the world to see that you were the current recipient of the Armed Hiker Award.
Nice.
And the last time, Pete was the one that presented to me, and I think I'm the one that gave it to him. But I since passed that on a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and I haven't had it back, so I'm doing all right now. But yeah, Dan, thank you for reminding me of my run as an arm hiker.
There we go. See, it's always good when you have live people on here.
That's right.
Get you thrown under a bus.
Yeah, you got to bust some chops when you can. You know what I'm saying?
2 days ago or 3 days ago, we found out the draw results for Arizona, and I once again did not get nail tag in Arizona. So that's 11 years for me now. It's killing me.
Wow, 11 years.
That's
Yep.
a long time. Is it like a point system where it keeps building?
Yes, but it doesn't seem to be working for me.
Right?
Okay, gotcha.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's all the questions we got, but obviously we got some of our questions that we typically ask, but we're not going to typically ask our typical questions because you've been on before. One of the questions I got is, one is your longest bow kill. What is it?
96 yards
At?
on film on a jackrabbit.
No kidding. 96 yards on a jackrabbit.
Yep, 96 yards. I did hit him a little low, got him, but still got him through the lungs. I missed the heart by that much, but still got him through the lungs. Well, you put a vortex, 2-inch vortex broadhead through a jackrabbit anywhere in the body, he's not going to last. But
Right.
I actually put a good shot on a jackrabbit at 96 yards.
That's impressive, man. I mean, it's not like you were shooting at an elk or an elephant or anything like that. You were shooting at a jackrabbit.
Yeah.
Man.
I've killed have a deer at 60. That was my longest out of a tree stand. Shot a javelina at 57. That's a pretty small target too.
That is.
Shot at 57. I shot a javelina at 3 yards too. That's almost as hard as shooting it at 57.
Right?
Yeah.
Danny and I got 2 trees at 60 yards at TAC 2 years ago, shooting at a javelina at 60 yards.
Yeah, it didn't work out well.
I mean-
Have you ever shot tack?
I have not yet. We have some local tournaments out here that are kind of those hike to hunt style challenges. It's similar to a TAC, but I haven't been to an actual TAC event yet.
Okay. You got to come up to Michigan one year when we got up here. Danny and I will be shooting Saturday this year, June
Yep.
14th, 12th, something like that. 12th, okay.
Sounds good.
Mike, I'm afraid you're going to hike circles around me now. I've been watching your progress this last year. I'm pretty proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, well, you haven't been watching the last couple months. I had knee surgery, so I've slowed down a little bit. But I want to get back at it. Once we get the cabin moved, I've got some new biking and hiking trails right next to the new cabin, and it's going to be a whirlwind. I look so much forward to this year, getting back out and getting back on my feet and plugging away again. And Danny and I have talked too. I mean, one of these days we're going to jump aboard either a plane, train, or bus, and we're going to head out that way and stop over and see you guys if we ever get this COVID stuff behind us.
Heck yeah, we would love to have you. As soon as your knee gets better, throw Danny on the baby carrier and go hiking and work it out.
I do have a rucksack that he might fit in. Yeah. What do you think, Dan?
Boy,
You didn't think we were going to end the show on a nice note, did you?
Of course not. No. You know what, though? I would gladly jump on Mike's back if he's going to carry me out to Arizona.
Nope, that's not happening. No.
Well, if that's what it takes to get you here, I'll go pick both of you guys up and bring you down. But we'd love to have you.
No, one of these days we're going to take you up on it. Seriously, we need to get out west and have some fun. And speaking of having a little bit of fun, I mean, I know it's way too early to tell yet, but do you think, just on a personal note, do you think ATA is going to happen this year?
Next year?
Or next year, this coming year?
As of today, yes. And I say that because right before we got started, I was telling Danny, we already got notification that we have our booth selection coming up in May. Mm-hmm. So at this moment, they're planning to have it. Okay. They also planned to have it in 2021, but it got shut down at the end of the year. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, with things kind of going the way they are, it looks like some of the restrictions are lifting. Hopefully, it snowballs into greater unrestricted areas everywhere from here to the end of the year, so they can have it. Love to get out there and see you guys again, see all of our customers that we miss seeing this year. But yeah, as of this moment, it looks like we are.
You know what? It's going to be in Louisville.
Yeah, it's going to be in Louisville this coming year.
Right.
Louisville.
That's right.
Louisville.
That's right. We're just looking at that.
Yep. So it will happen. If everything, Louisville is a lot less restrictive than Indy was.
Yeah, but the problem is me getting out of state.
Well, see ya.
I mean, seriously, that's a huge issue right now with a lot of people. I mean, it's like, yeah, you got vacation time, go ahead, take it. But it's going to cost you an extra 10 days when you get back. So
I'll FaceTime you.
Thanks.
Hey.
see.
You know what? We just got a new shooter from France, and he's been trying really hard to get down to Arizona to visit with us. And it would be a minimum 6-week ordeal for him, because he has to take, when he gets here, he has to quarantine for 2 weeks, and then however long the visit is, then he gets back home, he has to quarantine for another 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's a month off of work for anybody to travel like that.
It is, and it's crazy, of what's going on now. How is that affecting tournaments around the United States? Are we seeing any decrease in tournament action because of that, or participants?
In 2021, 2020 had a huge impact. A lot of tournaments were canceled. The few organizations that were able to have tournaments had to limit the amount of people. So yeah, I mean, it's still going to have an impact this year for sure. There's no doubt about it. Just for the fact that like Sebastian, where he can't come down to participate in a domestic event here that he normally would have, because it's just not feasible. He has to take way too much time off from work to do it. But all we can do is cross our fingers and see how things go, and see if the restrictions get lifted more and more as time goes on.
Right. That's all we can do is hope and pray for the best, and just keep on shooting
and get back to normal.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, we've taken up a little over an hour of your time tonight. We appreciate you hanging with us here. If you just hang with us here for just a minute, but we're going to wrap up the podcast portion. For those of you listening on the podcast, make sure you get over to PSC's website, check out the new lineup. Don't forget to support your local pro shops as well. Go over to social media. PSC's got a lot of different forums and things going on over there that they participate with. Give them a like, follow, share, and on all their social media platforms. But that'll do it for us this week. And remember, like I said, we're going to be off for just a short time here until we get things resituated in the new cabin, and we'll be back stronger than ever. We'll be doing live drops throughout the week, just to stay in contact with you guys and let you know what's going on. But
absolutely, and stay tuned for a April 1st major announcement.
But it's not going to be an April Fool's joke.
But it won't be an April Fool's joke, right?
No. So
it's legit.
Right. So that'll do it for us this week, folks, here on the podcast. Y'all take care, shoot straight, and be safe. Alrighty. Now, for those of you on the live stream, if you got questions, get it in real quick before we let Bobby go here. The sun's already set here in Michigan. He's still looking at probably high noon out there.
Oh, what's that? What? Wait.
What?
Oh, he's got a PSE. I didn't see that.
What was that?
There's a PSE.
What was that, Bobby?
Gator.
You got PSE Gator?
Yeah, I was going to try and throw that out there before you guys wrapped it up, but yeah.
Okay. Well, we're on the live stream, so
people can see it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Got to get over to the website and check that out.
Danny's got a great face for radio.
Yeah.
You can cover it up with this.
As small as he is, he might be able to wear that for a dress.
I know it was coming.
Make a nice halter top for you, Danny.
Oh, the hits just keep on coming.
send people to the gear section of the website. We brought all of our gear back in-house.
Okay.
A lot of a bunch of new hats. This one's my favorite hat. I love it. Even though it has an elk on it and I won't be hunting elk this year, it's still my favorite hat. It's my favorite PSE t-shirt with a camouflage American flag on the front. So.
There you go.
I do. I like that shirt, man. That's awesome. That is cool. Patriotic and camouflage and the whole 9 yards in there. That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
Any other questions?
Nope, we're all set.
There's a quick arrow question from Todd.
Okay.
Did you see that?
Oh, yep, there it is. For deer hunting, for hunting deer, do you prefer aluminum or carbon fiber arrows? Any pros or cons to either?
You know, we hunted with aluminum for so long, and ever since the introduction of carbon arrows, I haven't gone back. I've been shooting carbon for so long now. They're so much easier to tune. Well, I shouldn't say that because aluminums were crazy easy to tune, but the great thing about carbons was they're either straight or they're broken, so you never have to worry about a bent. But carbon arrows now, they're so much lighter, so much faster, getting great penetration, and now with the introduction of carbon arrows, there's so many different carbon options out there. My personal favorite right now are the PSE Extreme Penetration arrows. It's a smaller diameter carbon shaft with a thicker wall, maintains decent arrow weight, and even at my short draw length of 28 inches with a 100 grain tip on my arrow, I end up about 390 grains with an arrow. 70-pound bow, I'll get right about 295 to 300 feet per second out of it. Plenty fast for any North American game animal. But you put a broadhead out in front of that carbon arrow, and once it punches a hole, that small diameter shaft has little to no drag behind it. It's just pushing that broadhead through. So to answer your question, you know, my personal preference between the two, I would definitely go carbon. Much more accessible anymore too. I mean, so many people are making them, all your shops are carrying them, and there's so many good options out there. And aluminum will still do the job, but I would probably recommend carbon for sure.
Absolutely. And if you go to the website, you can check those out, the HD Hunter Selects, the BGX, and the XPs, the ones Bobby was talking about. And if you go to the bottom, there's a chart there that'll help you get you the right spine for your arrows that you'd be looking for. So right there on the website. So yeah, Terry, go to the website. You can look, see what spine with your weight and your draw length, and then you can find it right there. So you're at 28?
Yeah, make sure, 28.
Dude,
I'm 27.
Yeah.
And you're 27 and a quarter.
Yeah.
So
he's taller than us.
Yeah, obviously not that much taller.
Oh, my.
We're taller this way, but wingspan is probably not
Yeah. So, cool.
All right, I tell you what, hang on just a second with us, Bobby, and we'll chat after we wrap up here. But for those of you on the live stream, thanks again for tuning in tonight. Like we said, for those over on the podcast, get over, check out their website, check out your local pro shop, support them, especially in this time with what's going on with the economy. You know, give your local pro shops the support they need, and go check out their social media pages. Give them a like, follow, share, do the same for us, and watch for our live drops coming up here in the next couple of weeks until we get back on a regular basis when we get the new cabin all set up. Y'all take care. We'll be back again next time.